please.
All right. Well, we've got some... Well, so we can get an idea of the high-octane nature of this news, we've got some hot-off-the-press stories.
We've got lots of hot-off-the-press stories today.
Excellent.
We're starting with the Manic Street Preachers.
It's so hot. Look, there's
It is.
smoke
I can
coming off
hardly
it.
even touch the stick.
You've got oven gloves on, haven't you?
Yeah.
Joy Division oven gloves.
Yeah.
So the Manic Street Preachers announced this morning, hot off the press this one, I'm sorry I've written that down, that they're going to be doing an arena and kind of larger venue tour next spring. So this is the first time that they played some arenas since a couple of one-off shows in 2011 after they released their singles compilation, National Treasures. You went to see them, didn't you?
At the O2,
Stuart,
they did a big show,
yeah. Is there some buzzing? Is that just me?
I think it's just
no, it's just you. Yeah.
Okay.
There's one of the new comedy
It's so hot. It's
Worryingly,
interfering with my mind.
that sound is inside your head.
No, there's one of our new characters, Buzzy the Bee. He's might have been there for a bit, yeah.
Right, at Lisa, the town clerk of Hunstanton, the Wenlocks and Cheeky Steve.
There's a fly trapped in my headphones.
Maybe that is the case.
Anyway, so they're going to be playing Leeds Arena, Cardiff Arena, Leicester de Montfort Hall, Manchester Apollo, Edinburgh Corn Exchange, Glasgow Barrowland, Wolverhampton Civic Hall, Bournemouth Academy, Brighton Centre and London's Brixton Academy. Starts on the 28th of March, ends on the 11th of April. Right. All those dates are in between there. And tickets go on sale this Friday at 9:30. And they've just kind of done a run of smaller shows, haven't they? You went to see them at the
Ritz. They were great, yeah.
Here in Manchester, which only holds about 1,500 people, I think. So, first of all, here's James Dean Bradfield, who I spoke to this morning.
Right.
Talking about getting back out and playing to bigger audiences.
We did a pretty short tour when we released Rewind the Film, and it was pretty much a theatre tour. And so we're kind of a schizophrenic band, you know. We go between playing theatres and playing, like, you know, arenas and stuff, and then when we go to America, we're playing clubs. That really, I suppose, is perfect because we get to kind of have a bit of everything in the Manics, you know, and then just, you know, that's cool. Actually, you know, to actually be in a band when you've released your 12th album, which will be the next album, and just have that kind of whole different variety of experiences is just amazing, really. People have said that we write kind of anthemic songs, and you would think that we were writing with a certain size of audience in mind, but, you know, I think you got to remember when we, you know, wrote Motorcycle Emptiness when we were younger, you know, we knew we were only playing to like between 200 to 1,000 people kind of thing. So I don't think we've ever written a song, you know, to reach the back of the hall, you know, back to the 10,000th person. It's never worked like that. But inside a kind of murky subconscious, we've always written with a certain scale of communication in mind. But we've never kind of like written a song, you know, to actually fill arena, so to speak.
So genial, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's such a great guy.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, they released Rewind the Film. It came out in September. They're planning to release another album, Futurology, next spring around the time of this tour. So we'll probably hear stuff from both albums.
It's a bit more raw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spiky and European, they said.
That's what they've said. We'll hear about that in a little moments. But when I spoke to James, he was in the studio this morning actually. They're hoping it'll be finished in January and then out for spring, so they're putting the finishing touches to it at the moment. But Rewind the Film, it's got Richard Hawley, Kate Le Bon and Lucy Rose on it. They've got a new single from the album Anthem for a Lost Cause, which is out this month, and Kieran Evans, the filmmaker, has made a really touching video for that one. He's done a couple for this record, and they're really lovely. They're kind of shot in Wales. They're very nostalgic about various
working
aspects
men's clubs,
of Welsh life in the kind of 80s, 70s, 80s. So with these few guest appearances on the album, Richard Hawley, Kate Le Bon, Lucy Rose, will any of these people be joining the Manics on tour? Well, here's James again.
Hopefully some people from Rewind the Film will be joining us on tour. Of course, on Rewind the Film, we had Kate Le Bon, we had Lucy Rose, and we had Richard Hawley. So hopefully, you know, one of those guys can, like, you know, pop in and out of dates, so to speak. When we actually do this tour next April, it'll be off. I think we'll be just about releasing our next album, Futurology, and there'll be guests on that record too, and hopefully some of them can join us as well. It might be turning into something of a rolling review. At our age, we need all the help we could get, you know.
Are we going to do that little other dance that we do together?
Hope so. When I roughed it out with some plans and sent it to them, they've not got back to me yet.
No.
They will do, though.
No.
They're good guys.
Okay, right, yeah.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
So, like you say, if Rewind the Film is all kind of tuneful and nostalgic, then this next one is going to be a little bit more spiky, challenging, by the sounds of things. So here's James with a little bit more on that.
It will be out around about next April. And we'd kind of three-quarters finished it by the time we'd released Rewind the Film. And we're just kind of putting the finishing touches to it now and in January. And it's definitely it's very much a left turn from Rewind the Film, whereas Rewind the Film was much more gentle. Much more kind of like, gently introspective. I think this one, Futurology, is a record that takes us back to the trenches. I can see us getting number one haircuts and just getting back down in the trenches and getting a bit dirty and getting a bit muddy, because it's a bit more confrontational in its sound and in its subject matter. In a strange way, it feels like it's an album that's born out of the European mainland in a strange way. There's a lot of German influences on there. There's a lot of influences from the art world, from former Eastern Europe, etc. So there's a lot of stuff on there, and I would say that it has a very much more serrated edge to it.
I bet Nicky doesn't get a number one haircut.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Sounds great, though.
It does sound great, yeah.
It does sound really interesting, yeah.
It's amazing, man. I mean, they seem on such strong form, where it seemed it nearly ground to a halt, didn't it, by their own admission? They thought, is there anything else left? And they've had a whole new second career, haven't they, really?
Yeah.
No, they have, since Send Away the Tigers, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're on great form, and that Futurology sounds unmissable, yeah. So look forward to that in March.